whether they be letters or, as we see in Mansfield Park, dramas, poems, they are all invoked, but the novel is the form that can contain them all. And she doesn't, I think, ever slip away from that idea. So letters are interesting and they are complex, but they're not novels, I think. Thank you. Can I ask you a question? I suggested that Jane Austen includes in her novels many figures of storytellers and would-be novelists. And amongst them I included Mrs. Norris in Mansfield Park. What do you think of Mrs. Norris in Mansfield Park?
Manipulation. She's the woman who makes white black and black white. I mean, she takes you wherever. She's so funny. I mean, one of the things Jane Austen has is that she makes all these manipulative people. She has the virtue of laughing at themselves, and you want to be bad, but what you're going to be is funny.
Yes.
Because your way of dealing with things, of dealing with people, how you turn arguments, how when people, somebody has told you just something and then you just turn that to your own advantage. She always, I mean, even with Mrs. Bennet, she always turns that into something funny, which in real life is not, because these people are really damaging. And when you get one of these persons in a circle of people, they're the worm in the apple. So, but somehow she teaches us to laugh at them and say, maybe they want to do something wrong, but learn to laugh at them, see what they are doing, and just make of them the clown of the story. That's more fun. That's more of it.
Yeah, yesterday, in one of the talks, she said, well, one of the talkers said that Mansfield Park is kind of a Cinderella. Mrs. Norrie, I think, would be the stepmother. Always taking care of the two sisters that in the end they get wrong, and the little Cinderella in the end is right. And the punishment for Mrs. Norrie is to share her life with one of the sisters.
Yes.
And they get very bad.
Yes.
So I think that's the worst one.
It is hard. It's a hard ending.
Austen's doing. I mean, it's things that happen in life. I mean, Jane Austen, the genius is that I, as the writer of the novel, I am not punishing I am not giving my judgment on Mrs. Norris. Look what happens.
Yes.
When they behave like that, this might be one of the consequences.
Absolutely.
Which, by the way, I'm very happy with.
Yes, quite.
With conclusion as well. So that's the genius of Jane Austen. Like we have been talking throughout the Congress,
Yes.
is that she never tells you what you have to think. She just tells you, have a look, see what happens, and come to your conclusions. And we are all very happy when this is happening.
Yes.
I was please go ahead.
I wondered if I could return to Captain Wentworth's letter, because we happen to know that this was not her original plan. It's a second thought. Might wonder why she chooses such a very strange device. But it's paradoxical, isn't it? Because it does not behave like a letter. What letters normally do is distance what you can't say immediately. So Darcy can't say, look, you stupid woman, you've got me wrong. Puts it all in a letter for her to read at leisure. But this is doing exactly the opposite. Wentworth cannot stand up in the inn and say, shut up all of you, will you marry me?
That's right.
So paradoxically, the letter is achieving more immediacy than speech could. We actually, again paradoxically, we hear this proposal. I mean, often we don't hear the proposal.
Exactly.
So when Collins makes his failed proposal, when Darcy makes his failed proposal, we hear the proposal. When he makes the successful hear
Yes.
it. But there's more immediacy through the letter of it than the speech.
Yes, yes, indeed. And as you say, the product of revision, as it were, a deliberate and absolute kind of insertion, if you like, into the text. It is remarkable, it is extraordinary. And I suppose it's part of the reader's reward, you know, for going on. They've been waiting and waiting and waiting for this moment of revelation, and it does come as true revelation, and not a hint, as it were, at that point. Yeah.
I'd like to add something, because I believe that sentence in that letter, AUSTEN Fernando, you pierce my soul and have agony, have hope. She didn't have to write anything else. I mean, it's so crisping, so precise. I mean, how can she write everything she's saying so clean in just that very short sentence? I am half agony. I am in pain. You pierce my soul, and something is piercing. It's hurting. I'm half agony. Okay. But at this point, Captain Wentworth becomes our hero. Because the heroes, when they are in the deepest of the pain, the next thing they do is they face it, which he does with his letter, and he overcomes it. I am half hope. There he is. He's not only Anne Elliot's hero, that makes Anne Elliot run to him, but also we, in that moment, Captain Wentworth becomes also our hero, because we have seen him make a mistake, suffer the pain, and like heroes do, see the light, go for the positive, overcome it, and find the right solution to this situation. And then, well, I'm telling this as from the psychology point of view.
Yes.
But the genius of Jane Austen is that he adorns, he brings the art to psychology, which gives her a genius. She writes the right sentence with the right words, and nothing else is necessary. We have all understood the emotions, the behavior, but also the feelings and the thoughts. I mean, and then written superb. So, what?
What you say is beautifully expressed and very accurate. I completely agree. I would only add that for us to respond in this way, to see this with that clarity that you speak of, has required really all the bumbling, all the hesitation, all the mistakes, all the inability to speak of the entire novel and the past 8 years, you know, all that has been necessary to make such a declaration acceptable and believable from Captain Wentworth. You know. If Captain Benwick said that, you know, you think, oh well, you know, he's a romantic, you know. But you can believe it when it comes from Captain, because it hasn't come before then, because that moment is the right moment. Yeah.
She has the right.
While we're talking about how clear Captain Wentworth is in his letter, I can't help but thinking that Jane Austen's always sort of defending that you have to express yourself briefly. Because although she likes this making mistakes and then overcoming them and then explaining everything clearly, it's that you can see that, for example, Darcy's failed proposal, it's him trying to explain a lot of things, and it all comes out terribly wrong. And he sort of insults her, manages to insult her instead of actually proposing properly to her. And Mr. Collins is also like very difficult character, and it's always like everything that he says is kind of wrong or offensive in some way. So he just gets into wrong. He's unable to express himself.
Yes.
However, we can see, for example, Bingley, when he realizes his mistake, the only explanation he has to give is, "I have to say I've been a very big fool because of on earth," and that's it. And we can see that in Captain Wentworth's letter as well. He just says, you pierce my soul, I'm half agony, half hope, tell me it's not too late. And that will be it. And even if his letter was longer, as for example we see in Darcy's letters, extremely long, I think she defends either express yourself briefly or put it on paper, make it organized, make it tidy, so we can actually all understand it.
There's a lovely ironic comment on this in Emma with Robert Martin's letter to Harriet. And Harriet presents the letter to Emma. What should I say? What should I do? And Harriet's comment on Harriet's judgment is it rather short? As if that were a failing, And Emma, of course, perceives straight away that the letter is extremely well written and exactly the right length, and that actually she's got Robert Martin wrong, but she's not going to admit so much now. So it exactly endorses what you've said, I think, that brevity can be a desirable quality. Yes.
I was thinking about that her said that yesterday when we were watching the films and with Collins Fellet proposal, everything that you can say in that moment, except I love you,
yes,
I want you, it's a bad. Is even if you are bad, you are you have a lot of no, I love you, I want you. The other things are bad things, and you can give away.
Absolutely, he gets his points in the wrong order, doesn't he?
Yes.
Yes.
But I guess somehow that is because marriage at the time was not a matter of affection and love, which is what Jane Austen is proposing. Men were doing a favor to women and they were proposing marriage. So I express to you exactly what I'm doing. I'm doing you a favor. So, because you are going to have no other right. And you're going to die poor and all. Take into the question. It's realistic. I mean, it's fully realistic. So we expect from now, from our point of view, tell me you love me, please. Just a little. That was not the issue there. He had to do a good marriage. She was receiving a right proposal. I mean, love. What for? I mean, it's not. We are not talking about love. And this is and precisely Jane Austen, what he proposes is no marriages. I mean, I suggest she is so ultra-modern that she even then was proposing marriage for real and good affection, not only affection. Sometimes affection is not very well expressed. So I think this was right.
Because she is very modern. She wants some more. She wants a little bit of love. Just some word of love.
We like it in love.
There was a question here.
Well, I'm not in a hurry, so no, just one remark that Richard Jenkins made, that the things that are said and the things that are not said, I always, there's sort of frustration because the answers of the proposals, the good proposals, are practically never said verbally. Like in Emma, she says, what did she say? When a lady does.
Just what she should,
what
of
she
course.
Should. Lisbeth doesn't answer either it's not a dialogue. And he's not talking, Darcy's not answering also Nightwell in a sort of dialogue. She says like, he expressed his love and his deep affection or something like that. And to me, it always comes like a sort of frustration. Like, I would like to hear what they really say, because Darcy and Elizabeth all the time they have a sort of dialect, sparkling dialogue, which is very, it shows the sexual tension between them.
Yes.
And sometimes it's a bit, not really frustration, because always reading Jane Austen is always a pleasure, but sometimes I would like to hear the things that are not said by Jane Austen. And sometimes I ask myself, why didn't she write something? Why is...
I think what you're saying is very, very important, and I contrary to logic and reason, I would say it fits with what I've been trying to express about the engagement with the text. That it's when something in your reading experience raises problems for you, that those are the moments that are revelatory. And this is a particular sort of provocation to a reader, not to give you what you're hoping, no, so that you just have to do the work yourself. You know, she's not going to tell you. You have to imagine it instead. I think it is both very frustrating, but also, in the long run, very rewarding. How many generations of readers have felt exactly as you say?
Your question, please.
Yes, we were talking about these fake proposals. I think that the common situation is that they have been very rehearsed. I mean, it's probably that they were in front of a mirror or something.
Yes.
I'm going to make the best proposal in the best rational way, no? So of course, she would tell me yes, no? But of course, then we find out through Wentworth's letters that is shorter, that maybe the best returns are those that are not organized,
Yes.
and that really tells the nature of the feelings that, of course, we have seen through the book.
Yes.
For example, in Emma, finally, it's when Mr. Knightley says, if I could love you less, I could tell you more, or something like this.
Yes.
So maybe this is also a common thing, all the novels
Yes.
with the male hero, no?
Yes, absolutely. And it is a really interesting question, how far that possibly contains the whole work, the idea that at some level still there's something left to achieve, that she still feels a kind of provocation in the novel form. The novel form can do so much, but still there's built into it sort of like a tripwire, you know, that you have to reach for more. Yeah.
Any more questions?
Yesterday somebody, I don't know for you, said Austen books, they are not romantic stories. They are books with a romance. This is maybe an example. You are not going to hear a lot of wonderful love words. Just the way, just I don't know what's the word, indescriptible.
Yes, yes, yes.
Entonces, muchísimas gracias, profesora Bradbury.